If you've ever described yourself as broke, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to say, because this video might save you years of frustration. When most people say they are broke, what they really mean is, I don't know how to make money, or I don't know how to earn money consistently. And that's an important difference, because if the only problem was not having money, then every person who got a salary would eventually become wealthy. But we all know that's not true. There are people who earn a lot of money and are still constantly broke. So maybe being broke isn't just about how much money you have. Maybe it's about not having a system that allows you to create income whenever you need it. That's the problem I want to solve in this video. I'm not here to promise you'll become a millionaire in 30 days. I'm not going to tell you to quit your job, invest in crypto, or start some unrealistic online business with money you don't even have. I'm talking to the person who only has a smartphone, an internet connection, and a willingness to learn. If that is you, then by the end of this video, I want you to stop asking, how do I get money? And start asking a much better question, how do I become someone who can create money? Because those two are two completely different mindsets. One of the biggest mistakes I see online is that people confuse information with income. We live in a time where almost every skill you could ever learn is available for free. You can learn video editing on YouTube. You can learn copywriting. You can learn photography, Excel, whatever it is, whether it's digital marketing, you name it. And yet somehow millions and millions of people spend hours consuming that information every single day and never earn a single rand from it. Which is sad, honestly, because what are you doing with the information you're doing? Like, why? Why are you doing that to yourself? Learning doesn't automatically create income. Application does. Think about it this way. Imagine someone watches a cooking video maybe every day for 3 years but never cooks a single meal. Would you call that a chef? No, I don't think so. Now replace cooking with making money. Watching videos about making money doesn't make you money. At some point, you have to stop collecting information and start creating value. This is where I think the internet gives terrible advice. Everyone says start a business. I don't think that's a wise thing to do, because I don't think that's where someone who's genuinely broke should begin. Businesses require systems, customers, marketing, and often some form of capital. If you've never earned money on your own before, that's a huge jump. Instead, I honestly think your first goal should be much smaller. I'm not trying to demotivate anyone. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but don't try to build a business. Prove to yourself that you can earn your first 100 rand first without depending on a salary. Because once you've done it once, your brain changes. You start seeing it as something you can create by solving problems. Let me ask you a question. Imagine you woke up tomorrow and every cent in your bank account was gone and you couldn't borrow money from anyone. Literally, you're stranded. All you had was the phone in your hand and an internet connection. What would you do? I think that's a question more young people should be able to ask themselves, because for a lot of people, that's not a hypothetical situation, it's their reality. Let's imagine someone called Sipho. He's 22 years old. He's been applying for jobs for months, but nobody's calling back. Every morning he wakes up, opens up social media, and sees people talking about making thousands of rand online. Some are saying start a business. Others are saying learn AI. Someone else is talking about investing. But Sipho, however, is sitting there thinking, that all sounds great, but where do I even begin? He doesn't even know where to begin. Ever felt like that? Honestly, you're not alone. We've all been there, and we all always ask ourselves where to begin. We never know where to begin. However, I really think one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck, they're asking the wrong question. Most people wake up asking themselves, how do I make money? Thousands and thousands of people always ask themselves this question every single day. And I don't think that's the best question. I think a better question is, how can I make someone else's life a little easier today? And that might sound simple, but just stay with me, okay? Think about the last few times you spent money. Maybe you bought lunch like I just did today. I'm literally at work and I literally just bought a drink or whatever it is. In every one of those situations, you paid because someone solved a problem for you. Maybe you wanted to look presentable to where you were going, so someone cut your hair or did your hair or installed your hair. That's how money moves. It doesn't move because people need it. It moves because someone created value for someone else. Now here's the part where I wish someone had explained to me years ago. If you focus only on chasing money, you'll always feel like it's just out of reach. But if you focus on becoming useful, money starts becoming a result of what you do instead of the thing you are constantly chasing. Let me just give you a simple example. Imagine there's a lady in your community who owns maybe a small bakery. She bakes incredible cakes, but her Facebook page hasn't been updated in months. The photos are dark and maybe the captions don't really tell people what she's selling. And because of that, she isn't getting enough orders. Now imagine you walk in with your phone and you take better pictures. Maybe you're good with angles. You know, Help her write a few captions and post them for her. That's literally a solution you could have for her. You didn't build a business, you didn't invent a new app, you simply solved a problem someone else didn't have. That is value, and value is what people pay for. And this is exactly why I don't like it when people say, I have nothing, I don't have this, I don't have that. Because if you have a smartphone and internet, you already have access to tools that people 20 years ago could only dream of. You literally can learn everywhere and anytime. You can create designs, edit videos, write documents, anything you can imagine, all of this from one device. Now, does that mean everyone with a phone is going to make money? Obviously not. Just because you own a stove doesn't mean you know how to cook, right? The tool isn't what changes your life. It's how you choose to use it. So if Sipho asked me what's the very first thing I should do, I wouldn't tell him to build a business or a company to chase passive income. And I definitely wouldn't tell him to wait until he has more money or more investors. I'd tell him to prove something to himself first. I'd tell him to find one person with one problem and solve it well enough that they're happy to pay him for it. It doesn't matter if it's 50 Rand or 100 Rand. That first payment is bigger than the amount. Honestly, it's bigger than what you currently have. So it is something, because from that moment, you'll never be able to tell yourself, I'm not capable of earning money. You'll have evidence that it's possible, that you can. And honestly, once you have that evidence, something interesting happens. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's waiting for an opportunity, who's always waiting for something to come up, and you start becoming someone who creates opportunities. Isn't that nice? And that mindset changes everything. But here's the challenge here. Most people don't know what problems they can actually solve with just a phone. So in the next part, I want to show you how to spot opportunities that are hiding in plain sight, opportunities most people scroll past every single day without even noticing. By now, I hope you're starting to see that this video was never really about making money. I was not here to tell you how to make billions and billions of rands. It was about changing the way you think about money, because I genuinely believe that's where everything starts. Let me explain what I mean by that. Imagine I gave two people 50,000 rand today. One person has never learned how to create value for other people. They've always depended on someone else to pay them. Second person knows how to solve problems, and they know how to learn new skills, how to communicate with people and earn money by being useful. So if both of them lost that 50k a year from now, who do you think would recover faster? Obviously the second person, because they know what they're doing and because they've developed something that nobody can take away from them. And that's the same with you. They know how to create value, and once you know how to do that, money stops feeling like something you're always chasing. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've been learning myself. We spend so much time focusing on the amount of money we want that we forget to become the kind of person who can earn it. Honestly, if your goal is to just get money, you'll always feel like you're waiting for something much bigger to happen. But if your goal is to become useful, you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere. Everywhere you go, you'll start seeing that it's really that easy to earn money yourself. That's a much better place to be in, honestly. I want to go back to Sipho for a moment. Remember him from earlier? At the beginning of this video, Sipho believed his biggest problem was that he didn't have money. But hopefully by now, he's realized that his real problem is that he's not broke. His real problem is that he hasn't yet learned how to turn his skills into value for someone else. And the good news is that's something he can start working on today. If Sipho called me after watching this video and asked, okay, what's the first thing I should do? I'd simply say, don't complicate it. Pick one skill. Spend the next couple of weeks getting better at that. And then after that, I would tell him to find one person who genuinely needs help. Offer to solve that problem. Do a great job. Ask for honest feedback. And then improve. Then repeat the process. It might not sound exciting, but that's how momentum is built. I think social media has convinced us that success has to happen quickly, and that is a scam. Genuinely, it is a scam. If it doesn't happen in a month, we think we are suddenly failing. If we don't get viral, we think we are on the wrong path. But real progress usually looks quieter than that. Learning a skill, helping one person. One day you wake up and realize you're no longer asking people for opportunities because you are the one who are creating those opportunities. So here's something I'd love for you to do after this video. Don't go looking for another video about making money, because you're only confusing yourself. Don't spend another hour trying to find the perfect side hustle. Instead, grab a notebook and write down the problems you've noticed this week. Maybe it's a local business that barely posts online. Maybe it's someone who struggles with technology. I don't know. Maybe it's a friend who needs help editing videos or designing something. There's always something out there to do for people. Just write them down. Write those problems. Which one of these problems could I help solve? And that is your starting point. Before I end this video, I want to leave you with just one thought, one final thought. If you're broke today, I don't want you to think that's who you are. It's where you are right now. Don't let that be your identity. You are not broke. It's just where you are right now. It's not who you are. Those are two completely different things. Your current situation right now doesn't get the final say of your future. So don't beat yourself up. The decisions you make from this point forward do. So if this video helped you think differently, let me know in the comments. I don't want you to tell me how much money you want to make. I want you to tell me what problems you want to solve. And I genuinely read your comments. Obviously, I'm still new on this channel, and obviously I will be able to read your comments. I'd really love to see what you come up with and what you say. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.